Hey, it's Kristen from Kristincooks, and tonight I have some birria enchiladas to share with you, and I'm also going to be trying out homemade rice, Mexican rice, for the first time. So let's get going. So first of all, I'm going to start with the birria consommé. So I have 4 or 5 Roma tomatoes here. I'm just cutting them in half. Plus, I'm adding in a small onion, and then a bunch of garlic. Okay, don't worry about like taking the paper off the garlic and all that stuff, because we're going to blend it and make it smooth and strain all that stuff out. Also, I'm adding in some cinnamon. Don't forget this part. It said called for cinnamon sticks, but don't have that, so I just used ground cinnamon. And then cloves. It seems kind of odd to add that in, but it's going to add really nice, rich flavor. And you won't even pick it. You won't be able to pick it out that there's cloves in there. Excuse me. And a Mexican oregano, a bunch of that. And then, excuse me, I have some chuck roast here. It's almost 3 pounds. I like to cut off all the extra fat in here. And also I'm looking out for the sinewy, like tendon type stuff right there. Right there. You want to cut that out. It's really, really chewy and no bueno. You don't want to eat that stuff, man. Just cut it out. Get it out of there. Throw it away. There's some right there too. You can see it. I'm pretty sure I got it. But anyway, just cut off whatever you don't like on there. It's your house, your rules. You know, you do it. You do you. Okay. So I'm using guajillo chilies. So to prep these, all you got to do is just cut the little stem off there, kind of rip it down the middle, and just kind of use your finger and just get all the dried seeds out of them. These didn't have very many seeds at all. They must have like fallen out in the bag or something, but a lot of them didn't have very many seeds at all. But you just want to get rid of them anyway, just as a little bit of prep for this recipe. And then throw them into the pot with all the other veggies and seasonings and herbs. And we're going to boil this down for like 15 minutes. And then we're going to blend it up and all that stuff. So you'll see. I mean, this dinner is a little bit of extra work, but I don't mind because it's worth it, okay? The end result is very worth it. So then fill the pot up pretty much just to cover the veggies. You want to use a pretty big pot here. This is my largest saucepan I have. And then I just covered that and put it on the stovetop. And now I'm going to get my Dutch oven out here, and I have it on a really high heat because I want this meat to sizzle. I'm not cooking it at all the way. I'm just getting a nice sear on the meat. So in the meantime, I'm going to scoop out my veggies that have been cooking for like 15 minutes. Add in the cooking liquid and blend this away. Let it just blend for a little bit here. Put it on high and let it go. I had to do my veggies in batches though, because you don't want to fill your blender too full with hot liquid and hot veggies, because you don't want to have an accident where you get burned or something. So just fill your blender up halfway, do it in batches like I did, and you'll be fine. So then after I have blended the veggies and everything, then I'm just putting a sieve over my pot, and I'm just gonna just strain the sauce. Use a spoon to kind of force it through the strainer, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also add a little bit of extra liquid if it's just not flowing very fast, because I don't want to be here all day, okay? So then pour the consommé that you got out of the blender there after blending it, and then add it into the Dutch oven, back in with the meat too and all the juices, and then we'll bring this up to a little simmer, and then we'll put it in the oven at 300 low and slow for about 3 hours. And your meat should come out, and it should just be able to just mush really easily with a fork. If it's not doing that, put it back in the oven and let it go for a little bit longer, and then test another piece of meat with a fork or tongs or whatever, and then it's done. Then you know it's done. Okay, now we're on to the Mexican rice. So I've never made this before. Usually I just use the box stuff, but I really wanted to try this. So I have just a yellow onion, and then some garlic, and then I'm going to season that with salt and pepper. And then just let these onions and garlic sweat out till they're nice and soft. I have jasmine rice here that I rinsed off really, really well. Then I'm going to add the rice and toast it with the onions and garlic. Just don't leave it by itself. Just keep stirring it and keep an eye on it. Make sure it doesn't go too far and burn. And then after you've toasted the rice, then you're going to add cumin seed. Very important. Very, very important. And then I added some garlic salt. You could put regular salt if you want, but I like garlic, so I'm going to put in garlic salt. Just sprinkle in how much you think would be right. You can measure if you want. I don't want to. Okay, and then I have my little blender cup because I blended up a can of Rotel with the tomatoes and jalapenos in it instead of regular tomato sauce. But you can use tomato sauce if you want. You don't have to use a can of Rotel. That's just my little twist on this recipe. And then I just added a little extra water into that blender cup just to get all the excess tomatoes out of there. And then I have a cup of chicken broth. And I add that in. So total you have about 2 cups of liquid to 1 cup of rice. And that is your ratio. And then just going to stir it, and then I'm going to cover it, turn it down to low there. We don't want it to boil and go too far and burn or something tragic. So then just let it cook for about 15 minutes on low. And now I'm just going to let that cook away, and I'm going to start assembling my enchiladas. So I have corn tortillas that I've lightly fried. I didn't show it, but I lightly fried them in oil. Just real quick, one side, then the other, then that's it. Put it on a plate with paper towels, as you see there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the consommé onto a paper plate. And then I'm going to put a corn tortilla into the consommé. Flip it, so it covers both sides. And then add the meat and the cheese and roll it up. Put it into a 9x13. Seam side down, add a little bit of sauce first into the pan. We don't want them to stick. No, we don't. And then just keep on going. I ratioed I figured, I don't know why I like the word ratio right now, but I figured about 2 enchiladas per person in my family. I have 4 people, including myself. So I averaged 2 per person, which I think only a couple of us ate 2, but it was plenty. I did 8 in all. 4 plus 4 is 8. Okay, and then I'm just keeping on here. So like I said, this is just a little bit of extra work, but hey, it's worth it because these were awesome enchiladas. Usually I just make ground beef enchiladas, but I just wanted to try something new, something a little different here. And right there, the white cheese is actually pepper jack cheese. So, a little extra flavor, a little extra spice, never hurt anybody. And then I also have some Colby Jack cheese there too. Yep, my daughter I said, come and hold the phone for me. And, and so she got her little finger there in the way. So that's what that little blurriness is right there. I'm sorry. But I will have these recipes linked for you in the description box. As always, they are going to be there for you, the rice and the birria recipe. And then after they've all been filled, I'm just going to pour on some more of the consommé, and then I'll put some more cheese on top and pop it in the oven. I think I put it on 400 for maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes, just so that all the cheese melts and looks fabulous and bubbly and gooey and wonderful. And I also served with the rice and the enchiladas, some refried beans with some chips. And yes, it was an awesome meal, let me tell you. It was so good. So, here we go. Leave in the comments, though, what is your favorite enchiladas to make? Do you like beef? Do you like chicken? Do you like pork? Carnitas? Okay. So many options. What's your favorite? Let me know down below. I love to know. And then here we go. 25 minutes later, I'm going to remove the enchiladas from the oven. Also in the oven, accompanying never mind, is the refried beans going in there. Also, I hope you don't hear the little fan going in my room here. It's really hot tonight when I'm doing this voiceover, so I have the fan on. But anyway, these enchiladas were so good. We just loved them. They were so really good, and the rice turned out awesome. I'm gonna do this a lot more often when we have Mexican food, because it wasn't that much extra effort and it was worth it. It was great. And look at those. Look at the cheese. Oh my goodness. It was so good. Put your favorite toppings on top. I did a little bit of extra onion and some sour cream. I love sour cream. And I called it dinner. Look at that. You would too, right? It's so good. So that's the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing and supporting my channel. And stay tuned for more. Bye.